It was the start of my senior year.
June 13th, 2021.
Unfortunately, I did not get into my dream school.
This year, I applied to be the vice president of the National Junior Honor Society.
After school, I would come to the elementary every so often.
Just finished our soccer season.
Something that I struggled with was worth at that time.
It was the start of my senior year. I was really excited, looking forward to all the events. We were late because my family and I had gotten into a car accident. I'm not really going to go into much depth about it. It was an eye-opening experience for me. It really kind of turned me to God because I've taken everything for granted. Haven't really spent too much time with Him. He showed me that He is always there for us and how spending time with Him it gave me more motivation to continue because I was in a kind of darkened state, not really happy as I usually am. But through Him and talking with Him, spending more time with Him, He's given me more opportunities. I rekindled some old friendships, started new relationships with other people, including God. It's gotten me through this tough year. And then going into college decision, which I feel like a lot of people can relate to as a senior. I'm the first generation college student for my family. My parents didn't really know what to do, so I was pretty much on my own. After turning to God and asking for His help, it made it a lot easier. The next big obstacle was softball season. I was really excited for that too. I also knew that there was only going to be 4 seniors. The class right before us was a really strong, big part of our community that we relied on. We had to fill in a lot of big shoes. So being one of the upperclassmen, the people that were supposed to set a good example for the younger people moving up, was also a challenge, but turning to Him also gave me more strength and something to keep looking forward to and build upon to become a better person. That has really helped me in the end, in the long run. Going back to when I was super stressed about my college applications, it really was rewarding and a weight lifted off my shoulders after completing them, but also finding out that I got accepted into my top school, which is the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington, to further my academic and athletic career in softball. I remember I was in a free period and I got the phone call from the admissions counselor and I was just like, whoa, wait a minute. I took the phone call outside. Had to start out the phone call with, I just wanted to let you know you've been waiting so long that you got into the University of Puget Sound. And I was jumping. I was actually jumping. People were looking at me like a crazy person. I just couldn't hold in the excitement that I've been waiting for a long time, so that was really nice. Yeah!
June 13th, 2021. I had a very bad knee injury from my soccer game, and I remember injured at that moment. The opposing player went through my knee, heard a pop noise, and fell to the ground. I remember I was facing downwards into the ground, groaning. I remember soon later I would face upwards and look at the sky, look up. In those moments I was feeling really scared, lost, and I couldn't really get up. I was in agony. I didn't want to get up because it would hurt so much. I just remember at that moment of all the unpredictable things that happened because I didn't know what was injured, right? So June 13th, fast forward to September 1st, I had my surgery. Before then, when I found out it was ACL and meniscus tear, that was really devastated. Going into this new school year, 2022, I really embodied my position as a captain of the Christian Athletes Club. I really felt like it was all for a meaning because through that journey, I was going to PT 3 times a week after a hard day at school. I would be so tired of I would just be unmotivated to not go PT and torture my body just so I can get better. When you do it so many times a week, it just gets tiring. Our club meetings before my PT, it was really rejuvenating. It kind of sparked a light in me of faith that I would get better and that God has a plan. So I would just like to thank the Mid-Pacific Christian Athletes Club for being with me in this journey. I feel like if it weren't for being with them, I wouldn't have gotten this better that fast. And 7 months after surgery, September 1st, on March 24th, 2022, it's finally cleared and it was a very happy day. That day I went to practice afterwards and probably one of the happiest days of my life. I was back into the game. I knew that I deserved it. Looking back on the journey, I was realizing that if it weren't for God being there with me, protecting me when things aren't going well, I wouldn't have done it. And I feel like God came into my life. He brought me closer towards Him because of this injury. To be honest, I wasn't as faithful as I would have been today if it weren't for this injury. And God has His ways of bringing Him closer to you, doing things out of your control. You may not see it, but really God has a plan. When you're going through something hard, whether it be like mental, physical, or emotional, God has a reasoning for everything. Maybe not the bad, but He'll be there for you when the bad is there. You just gotta stay faithful and have trust in Him. I just want to thank God for doing what He does best.
Unfortunately, I did not get into my dream school. At first, I was really devastated. I, at first, was very upset. What I wanted to do was cry because I didn't think I was good enough for that school. It was just very, very sad for a little while. What turned it around for me was that I realized that I needed to trust God, because God showed me that even though this door closed for me, He opened another one, because I ended up researching one of the schools that I did get into that I strongly wanted to go to, but not as strong as the dream school that I wanted to go to in the first place. I ended up realizing that it aligned with a lot of the things that I was looking for in a college. I didn't realize that I wanted that in a college up until I did not get into this dream school of mine. I'm really happy to say that I'm going to Chapman University next year, and so I'm just really grateful that this door closed for me. It also opened because I wouldn't have ever researched this far heavy into it had I not been rejected. So I'm just grateful to God that He didn't give up on me. He showed me anyway that even though it did not feel great, not feel like I was enough, He showed me that I am enough, just in a different area that I didn't see at the time. And I learned to just trust God and be grateful even when things don't seem great.
This year, I applied to be the vice president of the National Junior Honor Society. I was really debating, I knew there was gonna be elections. Once I heard about it, I felt like I would be interested, but I wasn't sure because I got rejected before for being on councils. It just really hurts, and I wasn't sure if I could handle that again. So for a while, I thought I wouldn't do it, but then I prayed one night to God. He said that you should just try. I remember my dad telling me something, just try and see, because you never know. It's in God's plan, then He'll have it happen. My auntie, she also always says this phrase, do your best and God will handle the rest. And now that just stays with me. I applied, actually got it, and it was one of the best experiences because it didn't feel like just being on a council. It felt like hanging out with friends, because it felt like more than just being on a council. And I really enjoyed working with the other people on the council. I'm just so grateful that God opened that door to me, because if not, then I wouldn't be where I am right now. I guess I'm more confident in myself.
So we just finished our soccer season. I think I had a lot of fun compared to years past, especially this year as a senior. It's because I was able to let go of a lot of expectations that I had for myself. So before, I was really hard on myself when I made mistakes, if I lost the ball. First, it was really hard for me because I wasn't used to making mistakes or taking risks. And I learned that I can take risks because I was able to let go of that idea in my head that I had to be perfect and I couldn't mess up. And God helped me to understand that a lot of people are gonna be there for me, support me, and I need to trust myself and other people whenever I play soccer.
After a hard day at work, come to the elementary every so often, and it was just relaxing just to see them so free, running around, smiling, and just being their individual selves. Playing basketball or playing games that they invent was a time for me to relax and see happiness. When school was stressful, when I was trying to figure out college, figure out my future, it was time for me to take a breath. Through them, I see God as they are, or Christ as they are the future, and as He told us to be who we are meant to be. That is partly influenced by the way I act, in the sense where at senior camp or just anywhere, I'm fine with being who I am because that's who I am and that's who God made me be.
I thought I was comparing myself constantly to my teammates, to the person that I'm playing against, and that was really tough at the time. It wasn't until the ending of my sophomore volleyball season that I wanted to quit. First time my mom told me where to pray about it, so I did. I ended up choosing not to quit volleyball at that time. Through the whole season, I was just crying crying constantly, just like wondering like what was happening and like why it was happening. After my sophomore season, I was getting ready to start my basketball season, and the varsity coach came up to me and was like, "Can I pull you up for a game?" I played in my first varsity volleyball season that same year. COVID hit shortly after, so my volleyball kind of like was like rough at that point. This year, my senior season, I ended up being captain of my volleyball team, made second team all ILH, which was I was very honored. I was like, okay, all the hard work did pay off. Shortly after, like a month ago, my grandma passed away. It was really tough because it was unexpected. I had to show strength and like just not only like wanting to quit the sport that I loved most, but like having to wait and knowing that he has a plan for everything. The same day, about like 3 hours after she passed away, I got a volleyball scholarship to go play at Beloit. While I lost my grandma that same day, I got an opportunity to pursue like my dream of playing college volleyball. All my prayers were answered like by him. While I did lose my grandma, I got amazing opportunities. Showing the strength to keep on pursuing the sport that I love very much, I got to live out my dream today.